Introduction. So why did I choose this project? So I decided to focus my research on the percentage of adults in the United States that have health insurance. I chose this because I work in healthcare and I get a decent number of patients that do not have health insurance. So this data is interesting to me. So my research question is, do you currently have health insurance? The data represents the percentage of adults that currently have health insurance in the sample versus the number of adults in the US that do not have health insurance. The significance level is alpha of 5% because it's commonly used as the standard, which means I'm willing to accept a 5% chance of rejecting the null when it is true. My sampling method. So I collected my data by surveying 130 adults aged 18 and older. I asked them the question to the adults on an online survey. I created on Google Forms. I then posted the survey to several sites including Reddit, Facebook, and LinkedIn. The population is all US adults that have health insurance. And the sample is 130 adults who submitted a response to my survey through those sites. So to reduce bias, I asked adults of different ages, gender, racial and ethnic backgrounds, employment status and location, and I used the same neutral wording for the online survey, which would warrant a yes or no response. Okay, this is my data. So out of 130 of the participants, 106 said yes to having health insurance and 24 said no to having health insurance. Okay, and I decided to do a pie chart to list my data in. So 81.54% of the responses said yes to having health insurance, and 18.46% had said no to having health insurance. Hypothesis testing. So my survey basis was based on a study by the United States Census Bureau. They found that 92% of adults in the United States had health insurance. So my null hypothesis for this was P equals 0.92. The proportion of people in the US that have health insurance is 92%. My alternative hypothesis is that the proportion of people in the US have less than 92% health insurance. So condition 1 is that it's random and independent. This was stated, the data was collected randomly. Condition 2 is it's a large sample size, so sample is 10 times 130 is 1300. Condition 3 is big population, and that is n times p is greater than 10. So it is 130 times 0.92, and that is 119.6. And n times 1 minus p is greater than equal to 10, and that's 130 times 1 minus 0.92, and that's 10.4. So my mu is 0.92, my x bar is 0.8154, my n sample size is 130, standard error is 0.0238, my z-score is negative 4.39, and my z-star is 1.96 from the table. My p is equal to 0, or it's essentially 0. So my mu is... So as a conclusion, I do reject HO. There is statistically significant evidence to reject HO. The p-value is equal to 0, which is less than 0.05. So I conclude that the proportion of people who have insurance in the United States is less than 92%. With the 95% confidence interval, when I inputted the numbers manually, I got 0.7654 and 0.8654. When I plugged the numbers into the calculator, I received the numbers 74.9% and 88.2%. So I'm 95% confident the proportion of adults in the US that have health insurance is between 74.9 and 88.2%. I have learned a lot from this project. I believed initially that at least 30 to 40% of adults in the US did not have health insurance. This project allowed me to research this question, finding that around 92% of Americans in the US had health insurance. I found that the claim was not as accurate, and in the end, it was fun to put the numbers together.